If you wake up in the morning feeling tight or sore, this is the sequence for you. You're going to start lying on your back. Bend your knees and plant your feet on the ground a little bit wider than your hips. So we're doing some windshield wipers here with the legs, letting the knees fall from right to left. You can let your arms reach nice and wide away from your sides. And you want to be rolling onto the inside and the outside edges of your feet so your ankles are active here, having the movement come from the hips, so moving into that internal and external rotation. Sometimes this can feel like a nice massage for the low back as well. And then once we're done with that, we'll roll onto our right side. Slide your right arm underneath the side of your head to support your head. And we're going to do some hip circles with the left leg. The important thing to note here is that you want the circle that you're taking with that left leg to be slow and active. So almost think as if you're moving through quicksand, pushing out at each point of the circle with that left knee. So you'll see here I bring the knee in towards my chest, shoulder up to the sky, and then press the heel behind you and then bring it back down to meet your bottom knee. We're going to take about 5 circles in the first direction with that left leg. And then you'll repeat taking the circles in your opposite direction. So from that starting position, press your heel behind you, then bring your knee to the sky, then to your shoulder, then to your chest, and then back down. This should be so much effort with those supporting muscles around the hip that you're starting to build a little bit of heat. So it's not a passive circle that we're taking with the left leg. And then once we're done, we'll stack our left leg on top of our right leg. We're going to come into some dynamic twists. So you can slide that right arm forward in front of you and then reach your left arm up overhead as you start to open up into your twist and reach your left arm behind you. If it's more comfortable here as you move in and out of the twist, you can take a pillow or even a yoga block underneath the head to support it as we move in and out of the twist. You might allow that top knee to draw away from the bottom knee if that's more comfortable as you open up into your twist and reach behind you. Keeping the breath nice and easy. And then you'll roll onto your opposite side when you're ready. So just try and find the path of least resistance, minimal effort to roll onto your left side. Same thing, left arm underneath the head. And then those slow, active circles with the right knee. So into your chest, to your shoulder, to the sky. Push your heel behind you as you start to bring your right knee down. And then start that circle again, bringing it back in towards your chest. And don't be surprised if one side feels drastically different than the other side, because it can depend how you spend your days, how you sit, how you move. And so moving this second leg around and just kind of noticing, how does it feel on this side? And as best as you can, trying to move the rest of the body as minimal as possible. So the upper body is staying stable, the hips are staying stacked. Then we've got our dynamic twist. So that bottom arm is going to reach forward in front of you. And your top arm is going to take that nice big arch, that rainbow shape. So reaching up and then reaching behind you to open into your twist. And then coming back onto your side, bringing your hands to meet. So this should be really gentle as we come into our twist and nice and gentle as we roll back. So we're not forcing a really deep twist that feels like a bit much early in the morning. And this whole sequence is about gently waking up the body, moving fluidly through all of these movements. So then we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. And we're taking some big circles. Let's start with the right arm. So you're going to reach your right arm forward, up towards the sky, even open into a twist as you reach your arm up. And then reach behind you and send your hips back so that they get closer towards your heels as you reach back. and then come back into your table pose as you let the arm come down and forward. So movements like this, you don't have to focus too much on the details. You just want it to feel good. We're warming up that shoulder. Maybe even warming up the wrist and the forearm of the opposite hand, your left hand that is planted on the floor. Every once in a while, check back in. Do we still have those nice easy inhales and easy exhales? Moving to the opposite side, big circles with the left arm, sinking your hips back as you reach back behind you, and then as you reach forward, coming back into that stacked table position. And so here I'm following my hand with my gaze, but you might choose to keep your neck in a more stable position if that's going to feel better for your neck and your upper shoulders and upper back. All right, so let's plant both hands down. We're coming into our downward dog here. So sending your hips up towards the sky. And then you'll step your right hand up towards the outside of step your right foot, to the outside of your right hand for a lunge. And then step back into your down dog. And then we've got the opposite side. So left foot steps up to the outside of the left hand and then back to your downward dog. We'll do 2 per side of this variation here. Now we're going to drop the back knee as we step forward into the lunge and reach our arms up to the sky. And then plant your hands back down and then step your foot back to downward dog. So left foot steps forward, arms reach up to the sky as we drop the right knee down and then bring the hands down. So hopefully finding a nice long line through the front line of the body here as we reach our arms to the sky and look forward. Warming up the shoulders with that downward facing dog. And then let's softly bring the knees down. So we're coming into this kneeling position. This is for warming up the ankles and the calves. We're going to be rocking and rolling back and forth over the soles of the feet. So this first variation, where I end up in more of a forward fold as my heels come down, that's going to be less intense for your knees and your ankles and your feet. The closer you keep your hips towards your heels, the more intense this stretch might feel in your body. So as you notice here, I'm going to start to keep my hips a little closer to my heels. So as I rock back and forth over the soles of the feet, I end up in a low squat and then that kneeling position. You could also take yoga blocks or a chair underneath your hands so that you don't have to reach down towards the ground to support you as you rock back and forth. And then we'll end up in this forward fold, so our feet are on the ground about hip width apart. Keep a nice bend to your knees and just slowly roll up your spine to stand up. So take your time. Once you're standing, nice big roll with the shoulders. And then we're going to roll back down. So I like to keep a bit of a bend to my knees. Chin comes in towards your chest. Just let your arms hang heavy and roll down your spine, coming all the way back down into your forward fold. And then same thing to rise back up. So you can even move slower in this roll up and down. Next, we're going to demo the same thing. You can stand at a wall and use it as a little bit of feedback to see if we can bring that movement along the whole spine. So planting your feet a little bit away from the wall, maybe half a foot or a foot distance. Knees are still bent. Keeping your hips, your low back connected with the wall, you're slowly going to roll up and try and place one vertebrae on the wall at a time as you come all the way up. Same thing with the shoulders. Bring the back of your head to the wall as well. And then chin to chest and slowly roll down, trying to peel your spine away from the wall, coming all the way back down into that forward fold. So the wall just gives you that little bit of feedback to notice, are we bringing movement along the entire length of the spine?